Welcome, my name is Oliver. I am a robot, but enough about me. This isn't about me, this is about Saul, and Richard, and video games, and the universe. So come with us, or more specifically, with them, into the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Save State Gaming Podcast. We are now up to episode 13, into those double digits now, Chud, well into them.
Unlucky 13, some would say.
Unlucky, hopefully not.
We'll see how it turns out.
See.
How are you doing this week, Saul?
I'm good.
You look well.
Thank you very much. And who are you?
I'm not even sure anymore, to be quite frank. I'm Tricky Dicky Hornby.
Tricky Dicky Hornby.
Tricky Dicky Hornby, that's what we're going to go with this week.
Nice.
Chatting shit since 1985.
Nice.
So yeah, we'd like to welcome you back for your return patronage to our wonderful little romp through the video game misinformation of the week.
Yep. We made it through last week, which was our E3 special.
I lost like half a stone in sweat, several brain cells.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant episode to record last week. It was pretty hot and sweaty. This week's episode, however, is sponsored by the lovely Mrs Hornby, so thank you very much. I was just helping her.
Why you got to bring my mum into this, man?
I was just helping her. I was helping her fix a printer.
Is that a euphemism?
Maybe not.
Right. You were downstairs for quite a long period of time, though.
Now you're worried.
I don't need you as a new stepfather, Saul.
Well, let me and Mrs Hornby decide that one. You don't have to say.
Well, she's a grown woman, pays her taxes, she can do whatever she wants.
So, shall we begin?
Yeah.
What have you been playing this week, Chud?
Well, I actually went back on my promise to myself last week. I said last week that I really fancied getting Evil Within, but I wasn't, because I was going to adult and I needed to better save my money. This lasted for all of 2 days after that podcast, so I went and I treated myself to Evil Within and I bought it again digitally, so we've been playing that, and I've been having a merry old time. As merry as you can be with a game all about psychopaths and mental breakdowns and metaphors for schizophrenia.
How come it took you so long to play it?
I've played it before. But,
of course.
I played it a couple of years ago when it came out, loved it, always wanted to go back to it. I love those games, man. You're right, they are Chud games. I like Shinji Mikami style survival horror games, and I like Dark Souls. That's what I'm all about.
Nice, it's your jam. Yeah, I think I was telling you the other day, I've probably started Evil Within 5 times and played it maybe 2 hours each and then just given up. Like, not through it to being too hard or anything, but just losing interest, man. Losing interest.
What is it about it that doesn't particularly, get your cock hard?
I think there was points actually where my cock was very hard. There's a dude
like right now, please put it away.
When the dude comes through the wall in the barn with a chainsaw, that was really good. I don't know. I think it's, for me, maybe I think it's to do with the setting. It's been done a bit too much, like Resident Evil, that kind of style. Like whereas Dead Space, a similar kind of vein of game, but I found that a lot more like refreshing. Maybe I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek, so maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, I enjoyed the combat actually more in Dead Space as well, and it just felt a bit, the path had been well treaded already.
A bit predictable.
Yeah.
But, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was like, this is such a familiar game with all its tropes. I mean, there was a guy you were doing an escort mission with and he was, like, disarming this bomb, and I'm like, I wonder if the next time you do that it'll take a bit longer, and I wonder if there'll be waves of enemies. I was like, well, yeah, and there was, of course, and it's all very predictable, but I kind of found some comfort in that. And if it's done well, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of predictability.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a problem exclusive to people like you and me, like, dedicated gamers that have played most games in the last 20 years. Like, for somebody maybe jumping new into that franchise that isn't familiar with survival horror and its kind of tropes, then maybe that'd be cool, But for us, there's not that much.
Seen it all before, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Seen it all before.
Exactly.
You want everything from your water bucket. Fireproof, round, sturdy, of course. But when people see your bucket, do they see confidence? They do if they see a Gildman bucket. Onlookers rated the waterfall pattern from a Gildman as better than from any other bucket. Gildman, the fire's as good as out.
Anything else?
Yeah, I've been continuing to play that game you lent me, Persona 5.
Yeah.
Now I'm about 30 hours in, and I'd like to introduce you to a new segment here on our little podcast called The Uncomfortable Truth. So this is unpopular opinion time again, and I'm kind of getting a bit bored of this. 30 hours in. Can this game please decide whether it wants to be, a visual novel or a computer game? Because I played it for 2 hours yesterday and it was just tapping through text. I didn't get to fight one battle. I didn't get to explore anything. It would often give me the illusion every half an hour ago, like, oh, what do you want to do? And I go, can I go out of the room? Oh, no, you can't go out of the room. You're too tired for that. So basically it was just bullshit for hours and hours and hours and hours and getting anywhere, doing anything.
Yeah.
It's not a game, man. That ain't no computer game.
Well, I mean, you say you want it to kind of decide whether it's a visual novel or a game. It can be both. You can be a lover and a fighter. In fact, that's probably an even better way of being, Like that. It's not for everybody, man. It's not for everybody.
Well, yeah, that's right. But there's a balancing act you can tread with JRPGs, and this one, it just doesn't get it right at all for me. It's just there's too much plot, there's too much, just not enough action.
Button tapping, not just a lot of text, man. You're right.
Hours and hours of just pressing a button. Yeah, it's going through.
I think the other,
and plus also even in the text, you get the illusion of choice in all these games. Or you get a choice in these games where you get to pick which way you want to retort your answer, and that guides the dialogue and guides the choices of the story. This one has the cheek to give you the illusion of choice. It'll give you two different answers, which mean the same fucking thing. It's like, how are they different?
Yeah.
It's bugs.
Yeah, I think you did make a really good point about it being very, very hand-holdy. Like, the illusion of choice. Exactly, like, you're in your bedroom at night and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to go down to town. And you try and leave the room, it's like, no. Cat says you got to go to sleep. So, okay, well, I'm going to sit at my desk and read a book. Nope, too tired, go to sleep. And I think that hand-holding thing will put quite a lot of people off. For the same reason that people get bored of Call of Duty just running down the same corridor every now and again.
At least that has the note to be a computer game.
Yeah.
Whereas this, in that scenario, though, all you could do is run around in circles in your bedroom until you go to sleep.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to finish it? Do you have that drive?
Well, that is the thing, really, isn't it? Because I've not gotten to the point where I've said, "Here, Saul, take this bullshit back."
Yeah.
Because the plot. Well, it's padded as fuck, but it's kind of good. I like it, and it's interesting. And when you do get to go into the castles, which is the game's dungeons, I'm enjoying it. I like JRPGs. So I don't know. I don't think I will finish it, but I've certainly not given up on it quite yet.
I mean, so just say, what would you give this as a score then at the moment?
I wouldn't like to review something that I haven't finished.
Nice.
Because I'm professional like that. Yeah. But I'm going to do that anyway right now. So I don't know. I was thinking about this, and I was going to go 7 because I think 7 is fair, because it clearly is a very well put together game, very pretty, a lot of thought, a lot of artistic flair. So I couldn't go lower than 7, but with all those pacing issues and the fact that it's got this personality crisis and what it wants to be, I can't go higher than a 7. But then again, I haven't finished it yet, so that review score is very much a work in progress.
Yeah, but I think it's the kind of game that starts off as a 10, and then after 10 hours, it's a 9, 20 hours,
just
8.
You can just feel the goodwill sapping out of you.
It's a little long in the tooth, a little long in the tooth. But again, that's why people love those games. You buy a game for 50 quid and you've got 100 hours of content and you don't have to play another game for months. So I'd see that attraction as well.
What, in me?
Okay, who's the hottest character in Persona?
Lady Arn.
Arn, of course, that's the correct answer again. Well done, John.
Thank you. Am I doing well?
You're doing well.
Thank you.
Well done.
So that's been me. Thank you for asking. What have you been playing this week? Saul, tell us all about it.
I've been playing a few games this week. Not much of any of them, but I've played 3 different games. The first one was Hitman. So I downloaded all the maps. They were all on sale this week on PlayStation.
Yeah, cool.
And
I picked up episode 1, but haven't played it yet. How are you finding the new Hitman games? Have you actually put them on?
Yeah, I've played probably 3 out of the, I think, 6 different episodes that there are.
Oh wow, that's a couple of hours, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're all very wildly different. Like, they're very, very well designed. A real mix of environments as well. And although it is essentially the same thing, tracking down one target, but the variety and the ways that you can approach each of these missions is great, man. Absolutely fantastic. Like so much replayability in those games, especially with they've introduced things like elusive targets, which are like every now and again a target will pop up in the level and they're only there for a certain amount of time. And you get one shot. Yeah. If you fail it, they never pop up again, and there's big rewards obviously if you get them. So really,
makes things replayable then. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
With these things, is there sort of a leaderboard system where I can sort of compare? All right, that's interesting. Yeah. I like that.
It's a very, very well. It's as competitive as you want it to be. If you're bothered about leaders boards and that kind of stuff and tracking your progress against friends, it's all there for you. But I know that a lot of casual gamers really enjoy this game because there isn't really any pressure until you want there to be pressure in the game. Like there's a lot of kind of planning that can go into it, and then when you're ready, that's when you execute your plan, your assassination.
Plan. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So how long is the tutorial on this? Because this is the only thing that stopped from jumping in. I've gotten real sick of tutorials these days.
So there is a level, quite a small compact level that is designed 100% to be the tutorial. So it introduces you to all the mechanics. It gives you the basic weapon set and gives you a fairly simple target to kill. But it does also introduce you to all the different ways that you can kill him. So, for example, a little bit of a spoiler, but it's the first level. It's basically a mock-up of a ship of some sort, and they're testing like this new Harrier jump jet. And so one of the ways you can kill him is to fuck with the ejector seat. So when he gets in it, he presses the ejector seat and he dies. So it's really cool, really smart, really quite funny in some ways to take out your targets. The tutorial is as long as you want it to be. Like, as with all the other levels, there are challenges that you can do during the tutorial, which obviously if you're bothered about trophies, then you need to do those. But yeah, really, really good, really enjoying it. A game that you can just kind of pick up and play, or you can put up as hundreds of hours into if you wanted as well. Really, really good hit, man.
Awesome.
Really, really good. Moving on, played a little bit of a game called SteamWorld Heist.
Oh, right, the sequel to SteamWorld Dig, is it? Sort of?
Kind of.
Same world, same universe.
Spin-off, yeah.
Spin-off, yeah. I love the first one, SteamWorld.
Me too, me too. And I was actually a little bit disappointed that it wasn't the same. So, SteamWorld Heist is a tactical 2D shooter. Kind of based on XCOM, like it's turn-based combat.
Alright, okay.
Real departure from SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah.
But I'm liking it. It's about creating a party of robots, whipping them, looting, going on levels, loads of different levels that are kind of spread across 3 maps, if you will. Enjoyed it. I was a little bit disappointed when I jumped into it, but I'm actually really coming around to it, and probably will finish this one actually. Yeah, probably about 15 hours in, something like that. I don't think there's that much more to go. But really good, highly recommended. 8 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Am I selling you?
I've seen this game, and I don't. All I remember is thinking, shit, that doesn't look anything like SteamWorld Dig, and I really like SteamWorld Dig, and I wanted some more SteamWorld Dig. Yeah. So give me some more SteamWorld Dig.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think it was announced yesterday, I believe. SteamWorld Dig 2. A sequel is
really announced. Excellent. I'm all over that.
Yeah.
So what else have you been playing, Dig Boy? Lay it on me.
Okay. A game, and I hope I'm saying this right, called Operation Babel Tokyo Legacy, which just is, again, a terrible name, but as
slips off the tongue.
Where do you think it's from, this game, Chud?
Oh, it's clearly from Brazil.
Close. Try again. Try again.
Was I actually close?
No,
was it? It's a Japanese game, obviously.
You are psychic. That's a gift.
I told you.
It's Japanese in name, Japanese in nature. It's a dungeon crawling RPG in the manga art style. Played it for about 2 hours.
So this is a game you got for review?
Yeah. So it's not. I've got to say this. It is not my kind of game.
No?
Not for me at all. It's, I think, part of a franchise. I don't know how many games have come before it. From playing the first 2 hours, it doesn't really introduce the mechanics very well. It throws you straight into this boss battle with no idea of what's going on.
Sounds like Dark Souls.
Yeah, it does. But again, like, it's not for me. I'm gonna keep playing it, and hopefully it'll get better. But first impressions, it's beautiful. It's fairly standard JRPG combat, but it's not for me. But we'll see.
Fair enough.
I've got another probably 40 hours of this fucking thing to go. So
Sucks to be. At least you're getting paid for it, right?
No.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
When is it released?
It actually came out, I think, middle of May.
I was about to say, should I be warning you about breaking your
No.
commitments?
It's been out for a while. It's out for the Vita and PC. But good on Sony. Keep supporting that Vita, even if they are weird fucking JRPG games that nobody plays because they don't promote.
Do you remember all the Vita representation last week at E3? Neither do I. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. I'm sure there wasn't. Then again, to be honest, that conference might as well have been dreamt.
I want to say that there was some, but I can't tell you what they showed. So, moving on.
Sure.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
So, on to the news this week. A little bit of a slow week, I think, as is to be expected the week.
It's the hangover from E3, isn't it?
Yeah. So, a few things we're going to talk about, but actually there is some quite meaty, substantial announcements.
Right, what's that?
Let's start off. We got a new console announced this week.
Did we?
We did.
Tell me more.
Called the SNES Mini.
Oh!
Hey, right.
We've been predicting this for months, and here it is.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me your feelings.
I've incredible mixed feelings about this, because when it got announced, I was like, yes, hells yes, I am all over this. I am not going to make it last time. I'm going to jump straight on board. I'm going to get myself one of these. I believe it costs about 80 quid. They've got about 22 games on there. And the games lineup is sick. I mean, it is literally pitch perfect. It's tone perfect. It's every single game that you could think of that you wanted on the SNES, banging out there. Plus, on top of that, you get this. Listen to this. Not only do you get, for example, Star Fox 1, you actually get the unreleased, unfinished Star Fox 2. Now, this is a game that was never ever released. It was designed and actually completed back in 1995. However, the big crackheads at Nintendo thought, well, we've really got to start focusing on the N64 here. So this finished property that we pumped all this money and all these man hours and manpower into, we're not going to release it. We're just going to sit on it. So it was a famous game lost to time. The only way you could ever play this game was by, hacks on the internet, this, that and the other, but it's been polished up and it's been released. I think that is an incredibly classy act.
I think a really interesting point about that is the guy who programmed Star Fox 2 came out and said that he didn't even know that his game was going to be released on this thing until it was made public. So he was like, mint! Great,
he was happy about it,
he was really happy, of course, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So have you got the list of games there? Maybe we should go through it and then just give a quick...
There we go, look at that for timing. Fucking wonderful. Excellent.
So read them out to me and I'll tell you what I think.
Okay, so Contra 3 The Alien Wars.
Never had any experience with Contra, always wanted to play it though, so we're off to a good start.
I played Contra and it is hard as nails, bullet hell shooter.
Well, that's what the world famous Contra code is there for.
There we are. Donkey Kong Country.
Excellent, absolute masterpiece, worth the price of admission alone.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely wonderful game.
Completed it several times, will do so again.
Nice. Earthbound.
This is another one of those games that was a lost gem to the West. I don't believe it was released in England on the SNES. Was it? Prove me wrong. I mean, it has been on virtual consoles, this, that, and the other. But this is a game that certainly about 10 years ago, it grew into its own legend. It was one of those games that everybody wanted, and blah blah blah. If you go on eBay, the original cartridge for this game sells for about £1,000. Yeah. So that's nice, excellent. I've already done it on the Wii U. Never got really around to playing it, but I'm happy to jump on board. What do you think?
I've never played it, but I probably never will either because I don't have time to go back and play a 20-year-old SNES RPG.
Oh, this one looks like it's got oodles of personality though. It's about these three kids in a Midwestern American town, and it's all just about playing with video game tropes. Basically, this game is Undertale before Undertale was cool. This is what this game is. It's like the original Undertale.
Okay, cool. Sold. Final Fantasy 3.
Excellent. This, by the way, people, let's be real clear. This isn't actually Final Fantasy 3. It's Final Fantasy 6, which many people say is the best one. And I've played it for about 12 hours when they re-released it on the PlayStation, and I can safely say, yeah, it's a fantastic game. I can't believe that they got this into a SNES cartridge. So yeah, that is almost worth the price of admission alone. I mean, so far we're not even a quarter of the way through this list, and it is amazing.
And we've had, pretty much three incredibly brilliant games like Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, and Final Fantasy 3. F-Zero, next on the list.
Never played it. Actually, no, I probably have played it. One of my earliest memories, is my brother Tommy having this game and playing it. I always wanted him just to turn it off, then we could play Mario. But yeah, F-Zero over the years became a franchise that's very close to my heart, so I'm looking forward to playing this.
Cool. Kirby Superstar.
Never played it. Game Boy. I played the Game Boy one. We talked about it last week. I would love to play this one. I'm sure it's lovely.
Yep. Kirby's Dream Course.
This one sounds shit. I don't
Fucking no idea what the hell that is.
Crap. No, I have no idea either. Who knows? But yeah, whatever.
Fuck Kirby the Pink Prick.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Yeah, excellent. Everyone loves Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It also marks upon as possibly the greatest Zelda game ever. I wouldn't agree with that though. Ocarina of Time all the way, baby.
Yep. But again, an incredibly beautiful
strong
game.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good game. Mega Man X.
Never played it. Don't have any experience with the Mega Man games apart from that one time when I couldn't stop humming the Mega Man 2 theme tune for about a week.
Yes. Secret of Mana.
Never played it. Square RPG, famous property, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great though. Excellent. Can't wait to jump on board with that.
Star Fox and Star Fox 2.
Star Fox 1, absolute classic. Loved it. One of my favourite games from my childhood. I've already covered Star Fox 2. The fact that they are releasing this unreleased game is an incredibly classy move.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting Edition.
The greatest beat 'em up of all time, but hands down.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Super Castlevania 4.
Never played it, but I've heard great things about it. Always wanted to get into the Castlevania series. Tried to get into Symphony of the Night recently. Had a bit of a hard time with it.
I mean, that's probably the best one.
Yeah, so people keep telling me that.
Super Ghosts and Ghouls.
Loved this game. Hard as nails. Dark Souls before Dark Souls was cool. Can't wait to play it again.
Yep. Super Mario Kart.
Absolutely
don't bother playing
legendary.
that.
Shut up, Saul. Everybody loves Mario Kart.
Crap.
Even though it is a bit bizarre playing it now because the track goes around the cart as opposed to the cart going around the track, which is a bit weird.
Yep. That's a good point. Yeah. But dude, I'm shit at Mario Kart, so I don't like it.
Focus hard on yourself.
Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars.
Another one of those games that's grown sort of legendary in the eyes of people because it came out at the very end of the Super Nintendo's lifespan, so it didn't really get a lot of traction in the West. It's one of those games that people always wanted to play. Now here it is. Plus, it's also very interesting because it's actually developed by Nintendo and Square. I think it's the last thing they did before they had their great breakup.
Super Mario World.
Legendary. One of the best games of all time.
Absolutely. Super Metroid.
I've never played it. I've always wanted to. I've only recently gotten into the Metroid franchise. I've never actually played one of the 2D iterations, but I have heard that this one is the best.
Super Punch Out.
What a twat Mike Tyson in it.
And Yoshi's Island.
Also it's actually Yoshi's Island. Its full title is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Came right at the end of the SNES's lifespan, and is also one of those legendary games that not a lot of people seem to play and have always been asking about. So yeah, and that rounds it up. Tell me that isn't an incredible collection that I couldn't have done better myself.
Exactly. I think that the list, the thought and the love that's gone into that game list is just phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. There's something to please everybody in that list, and a few of those games alone, like you said, would be worth paying 50, 60 quid for nowadays. So yeah, really, really good start.
How many controls do you get?
One.
Because I could have sworn I saw a picture of 2 on the box.
Correct, but I think you only get one in the box.
That's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
One on the plus side, they've decided that they are going to extend the length of the controller cord by 2 feet. So
that works, doesn't it?
The NES Classic, which was an abomination purely because of the length, was 3 feet, so they're adding about an extra 2, so it's a little bit better.
You're 5 foot tall.
Thank
roughly.
you. Yeah, well,
yeah.
a bit lower. But yeah, so it could still be longer.
Like
to be
your
fair.
penis.
Yep.
But yeah.
What are you going to do? It's Nintendo. We're getting there. Baby steps.
Baby steps. But I'm a little bit disappointed, Saul, because it gets announced. Me and you were straight text each other like, yeah, we're going to get straight on this, and it's sold out everywhere already.
Yep. Within the first day, you could not buy it. I mean, things like we're talking about pre-orders here, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about pre-orders, so Amazon They'd gone, the Nintendo UK store had gone, game.co.uk had sold out.
I get the real feeling here that I'm not going to be able to get my hands on this, and that's really disappointing, because I really, really want one. I mean, I wanted the NES one, but I really want this one.
I know, we talked about it before, and there are going to be millions of people in your situation that are going to be sorely disappointed when they are literally trying to throw money at Nintendo. And so, I don't know, I think it's going to go the same way as the NES Mini. I think that they have already announced that they're not going to produce this after the end of this year, so no more units being produced after 2017, which is just, again, fucking lunacy.
I just want one. That's all
lunacy.
I want.
Here's an interesting thing, and we can actually tie this into maybe something we can talk about a little bit later on.
Okay.
That on the Nintendo website, it's £70. Guess how much it is at Game?
It's 80 quid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that you said £70, because I've only seen it as £80.
Nintendo, and I believe Amazon, 70.
Right, okay, so Game of Thrones. Before we move into the direction of Game and the mispractice, do you reckon that next year they're going to do an N64 Mini, and the year after that a GameCube Mini?
I think it's on the cards. I don't know whether it'll be next year.
We better not get excited about it, because we're certainly fucking ain't getting one.
I mean, look, fucking hell, if there was one thing in Nintendo's portfolio that they had that will sell, it's Super Nintendo, right? Like anything, the nostalgia for that console and the want for that console is so big, and again, they're just, I don't know, new batch of crack. What's going on? What is going on, Chud?
They need to enter a 12-step program or something.
They do, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep checking back every couple of days, seeing if there's any more stock. But I really hope there will be some more stock available. I would probably buy 3 if I could, but who knows? Who knows? Just have to wait and see if they get some more.
Planet Earth, a scientist creates the ultimate machine.
At last!
A machine that will give him the power to journey into the mega world. With thousands of colors, 16-bit graphic technology, and 10-channel mega stereo sound. The most advanced video game system in the universe.
Yes!
Mega Drive from Sega.
Moving on, next piece of news. Again, a bit of a retro theme to start us off. Is the Sega have announced what they're calling the Sega Classic Collection, is that right? Sega Forever.
Sega Forever, that's it, Sega Forever. I remember reading about this, and then you tell me about it, and I still don't quite believe it's true. I don't understand. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, the headlines were a bit misleading. The headlines were like every Sega game ever made for free now on iOS and Android. It was like, oh my god.
Pardon?
Excuse me?
What's this? What? Why?
I'm going to sit down and just read this again. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
No, that can't be true.
Well, it kind of is, but with a few caveats.
Caveats.
Caveats. That's a nice word, that.
Nice word, isn't it? Nice word.
Which are, so there's currently 5 games out on Android, 5, maybe even 6. There's like the original Sonic, there's Altered Beast, there's Comic Zone,
Phantasy Star 2.
Phantasy Star 2.
That was the one that drew my attention, because I never played it, and I'd always wanted to.
A couple of others. And so these games are, legitimately available right now for free on Android and iOS, which is pretty good in itself, right?
And Crazy Taxi as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that I think came up in the last couple of days. And the only kind of catch to these games is that, you might have to watch an advert for 10-15 seconds before you play the game.
That's not a catch-all, really, is it? That's
exactly.
Fine, absolutely, no problem at all.
It's a fucking fantastic free game. Stop moaning about watching an advert for 15 seconds. So, there is actually the option to pay for the game, which is $1.99 per game, and that removes all the adverts from it. So, again, that's an option.
I'm too cheap for that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm absolutely fine with watching an advert. And so the kind of rollout plan for this is that every 2 weeks there'll be a new game coming to the collection. Again, same thing, totally free. But the really interesting thing about this, is that they're saying that the collection will cover all games Sega have ever made across every single one of their consoles. So from the SG-1000, which was only released in Japan.
Didn't even know that thing existed until you told me about
Exactly, yeah. So, Master System, Mega Drive, Game Gear, Dreamcast, Saturn, all of these.
Are they literally going to release their entire back catalogue, though?
No. I mean, for them to do that would take decades, right?
Yeah.
And at the rate of one game every 2 years, that you're talking about...
One every 2 weeks.
Sorry, God, Jesus Christ, yeah. One game every 2 weeks, we're talking about 25, 26 games a year.
Yeah.
Right? So, 25, 26 free games. probably very good games, so
awesome.
I'm not going to argue.
What would you like to see?
Interesting question.
This is a
you know what? Crazy Taxi would actually have been really high up on my list.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's great.
Nights into Dreams. I've never played that game, but I've heard about all the hype.
Yep.
Back in the day.
A couple of like other real favourites of mine were like Toe Jam and Earl. Fucking love those
Never
games.
played it.
Really,
Earthworm
really
Jim?
good. Earthworm Jim, yep.
But is that a Sega IP though?
No, but it was. You see, Chud raises an interesting point here, right? A lot of these IPs aren't owned by Sega, right? They were published and made for a Sega platform. So the interesting thing is that the guys that whatever company it is that owns these IP, they can't re-release these games without it being on a Sega console.
Okay.
So that is kind of dead money to them, right? Mm-hmm. So there is nothing stopping these companies from making a little bit of extra cash from a 20-year-old game by letting Sega re-release it, you know?
Yeah.
There's got to be some incentive for them to do it. Like Sega will give them, I don't know, ballpark. Here's 20 grand for an old game. Let's release it. I mean, I don't even think it's going to be that much, but
no, I wouldn't imagine.
I would say that these, people that own these IPs, whoever does, they've got nothing to lose at all. So why not? So yeah, for me, pretty much everything's on the table. Every game they've ever had on a Sega console.
That's amazing. Awesome. Skies of Arcadia, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's such a rich kind of back catalogue and legacy of Sega games that, can't wait to see what they manage to give us for free.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And if only they can make a decent Sonic game.
I think Sonic Mania is going to be awesome.
Oh, mate, I just lost.
I think it's going to be absolutely.
What makes you say that?
So, like, the people that are involved in it, like, it's all basically been made by a lot of fans. So, dude who's been remixing Sonic tracks for like 10 years is doing the soundtrack, and it sounds great. They've got like modders and stuff to help design the levels. Just a real kind of collaboration between every person that they could find that loves Sonic and the franchise and what made the original Sonics important and really good. So everything I've seen of the game so far is just hitting absolutely every nail on the head in terms of nostalgia, in terms of like what I loved about the original Sonic games, the fact that you can play as Knuckles in them. Really, really good. Really looking forward to it. Everything that I've seen so far has sold me on it 100%. So I see no reason why it's not going to be great.
Fair enough. When is it coming out and what is it coming out on, do you know?
I don't. I think it's coming to pretty much everything, and I'm pretty sure it's not that far away, a couple of months maybe.
Well, we'll see how it reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe one day when it's on sale, I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
So, this week, finally, we have the unveiling, the announcement of your free games that aren't really particularly very free. But yeah, Xbox games with gold have been announced. Finally, coming out a little later than normal. And I think we've discovered why, because they didn't have fucking anything lined up.
It's a poor line.
It's the worst I've ever seen. It's so bad. Run us through it, Saul.
Should we start with 360?
You go on.
Let's go with 360. We have the extremely mediocre Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days.
I think you're looking for the infamously bad.
Okay, yep, that'll fine.
Isn't it like one of the lowest reviewed games of all time or something?
I didn't realise it was that bad.
It's like atrociously bad. It's one of the worst games of all time, apparently.
Oh well.
Can't wait to play it.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
You're still rocking your 360. We've got Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
What is all these Lego games that they're giving me?
I love the Lego games, I think, and they're pretty good most of the time. So that's a little bit of an offer in there, but not bloody much.
I don't like my Lego games, man.
It's because you hate children.
I do.
We have for the Xbox One, Grow Home.
No, it's Grow Up.
Oh, is it Grow Up?
Yeah,
it is the sequel.
Grow Up is the sequel to Grow Home. I own both of those games for free now.
Any good?
I played the first one for about half an hour. I thought, oh, this is alright.
It's like a climbing
and then, it's like a little robot lands on a planet, and then you've got to try and grow up a vine, or climb a vine. I can't remember. It was some bullshit. But it had charm if you're into that sort of thing. I just, whatever.
And last for the Xbox One, we have a game called Runbow.
I haven't a fucking clue what this is about.
Not a clue. Do you? No, and
maybe it'll be a pleasant surprise. Maybe it'll be like the greatest game I've ever played.
I don't think
maybe we should stop being so goddamn negative, Saul.
What do we reckon it is? Runbow. I reckon it's an infinite runner away running across a rainbow. That's a pretty good guess.
I reckon it is about a marathon set in the Manchester Gay Pride.
Nice. that's complete speculation, but on both of our parts.
Nope, mine is true. I got mine from Kotaku.
So, what do we reckon?
Yeah, atrocious.
Pretty shit month.
I'm
Right?
going to write a strongly worded letter to Phil Spencer, or whatever.
Yeah, so not very good. I promise we're not actually sponsored by Sony, although please do send us money. Today we got the games, the free PlayStation Plus games for July.
We did, and this is looking much more promising.
Exactly. In contrast, this is like...
Stark, I believe is the correct word.
Yeah. So, let's start with the PS3. We have Tokyo Jungle, which is...
A cult classic.
Mint.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good
mint.
things about this. You and a couple of other friends have told me
If
to
you've
get
ever
it.
wanted to run through downtown Tokyo after the animal apocalypse as a giraffe, this is the game for
That
you.
sounds absolutely down my alley.
Yep. We have Darkstalkers Resurrection, which looks like somebody misspelled the Darksiders game, but no, it's actually called Darkstalkers Resurrection. I have no idea what this is.
Nope.
Like to hazard a guess?
I don't know. Side scrolling. I don't know. I wouldn't like to because I'm going to be wrong, aren't I? So
Yeah.
That's not
Okay, but you know we are the kings of misinformation.
Yeah, that's true.
All
Alright, fine. It's the sequel to GoldenEye from the N64.
What? I think that's Perfect Dark.
Alright, yeah. Sorry.
It's all right. We'll do our
easily-
research.
it's
I promise
easily
we'll do
done.
our research next time. Let's go to Vita. I've not heard of either of these games. We've got Element 41 and Don't Die, Mr. Robot.
Don't Die, Mr. Robot is an excellent name for a game.
It is great.
Is that going to be cross-platform? I'm going to get to put it on the PS4.
It is. You are.
Oh,
absolutely
excellent!
correct.
I'm definitely jumping on board with Don't Die, Mr. Robot.
Yeah. No idea what it's about, but good name, good game. Okay, then PS4, we've got Until Dawn.
This is amazing. This is really a big game. This is probably the biggest game they've released for free in the last 2 years on the PlayStation 4. And it's really funny that this has been announced because you've no idea how close I came to buying this game today. Like about 2 hours before it was
really?
for free, I very nearly picked it up. So I was playing the Evil Within and I was like, oh, I really love horror games. I never did get Until Dawn. We should try and buy that. How much is it? And I just kind of forgot, thankfully, because then about an hour later I find out I'm getting it for free.
Yeah, you'd be raging.
I'd be pissed right now. That would have spoiled my day.
But
You've played Until Dawn, haven't you?
yeah, I've finished it. I've played it through about 1.5 times.
It's like playing a horror film, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's a multifaceted, kind of narrative, branching horror story where you control the fate of I can't remember now. I think 5, 6 different characters. Again, you can finish the game with all of them surviving. They can all die. So if you ever played Heavy Rain, you kind of get the idea.
Do you get to play with horror tropes? Like you get to make two of them, fuck each other and then they get killed?
Dude, they are all over the place. It relishes in its tropes.
Sure.
It knows it's stupid. It knows what it's doing has been done 100 times before. And the characters, in my opinion, are purposely unlikable. They're just
A bit like being you.
hipsters.
Only kidding.
Yeah. Hipsters, yeah.
Hipsters.
That's right. So yeah, if you haven't played Until Dawn, a brilliant opportunity to play it here. If you're
I'm really
a
looking
PlayStation
forward
Plus
to it.
Survivor. Great. You will love that game. That is a Chud
I'm
game.
looking forward to it.
Chud game.
What, was there anything else?
Yeah, the other game for PlayStation 4 was Season 1 Game of Thrones.
Already on it, but it's great. If you love Game of Thrones and you love those Telltale games and you love getting yourselves one of them real easy platinums.
Talking about platinums, easy platinums, did you hear about this game called, I think it's called 5-Star 1000 Top Rated? Did you hear of this?
How'd you like to earn a platinum trophy in just 1 hour? How's the idea of a game with 1,000 4K images grab ya? Art thou ready to slide tiles?
Funnily enough, you sent me a link to it the other night, but I was a little worse for word, to be honest. I don't know if you noticed that when I rang you. But then today, Jim Sterling actually covers it. Apparently,
oh, really?
It's like a picture. Basically, remember those? Is it like what are they called? These block
like
games?
a tile puzzle.
A tile puzzle. Where
slider.
you get a picture, it gets rearranged, and you've got to rearrange the pictures. Now it sounds like the fucking cheek on these people. They've basically taken clip art pictures from the internet and have resold it, and then it's insane. And it basically is marketing itself as the world's easiest platinum.
Yeah, that's the entire marketing angle for this game. Is the platinum you can get in about an hour. Some people can even get it in about 20 minutes. Fuck this game. This game makes a mockery of the PlayStation trophy system. Like, it's not good. Not good at all.
Do you know it even has in the link to the in the description of the game on the PlayStation Store? There is a link to the like a YouTube video that tells you how to do it, like guides and stuff.
You see, that's just like
This is from the developer.
Yeah.
And then the developer goes on to say, if you're still having trouble, email me and I'll give you my notes. Crazy.
But it's like apparently £2 or £3 this game. Absolute.
Why do you have a problem with this and you don't have a problem with Iron Mail?
Oh, I do have. I have a massive problem with Iron Mail. I have the same problem with both of these games.
Iron Mail, by the way, I feel I should explain, is a game where basically it has a jar of mayonnaise and you press one button and you just tap on it and you've got to tap on it X amount of thousands of times and then in half an hour you get a platinum.
Like, if...
I almost kind of admire the goal of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it takes balls, but I would say, like... I mean, this is a thing that affects not that many people, because I think not that many gamers are that really invested in the trophy systems or achievements, that kind of stuff, right? Is that fair to say? Most people?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, looking on like all my friends list, I mean, there's me, you, maybe one other guy who has a platinum trophy, and 40 other people, none of them have platinums.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I think, like, it's designed, the way that it's been marketing is it's designed for a minority of gamers, do you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, looking at the production values of this game, it probably cost them very, very little to make, so they will probably earn their money back. And I think that they're clever in what they're doing, like, they know what they're doing, marketing it to a very specific group of people that care about this thing, and yeah, I just think it's, like I said before, it's a shame because it invalidates, like,
yeah, exactly.
It invalidates people putting, 200 hours into Persona 5 to get the platinum when you can just jump in this game and get one for it.
Exactly.
And they both have the same worth in the eyes of the ecosystems.
I was almost thinking of getting into these games and just buffing up my platinum list, but somehow if I could just kind of pin the fact that I've platinumed Dark Souls 3 at the top.
Yeah, I again, like, if platinum or trophies really matter to you that much, right, then don't waste your time with a shitty game. Like, make your trophy list respectable and interesting to look at. Like, put effort into really hard games, like you did with Dark Souls, and Bloodborne.
Yeah,
like,
I did that.
Those are incredible. They're feats, they're achievements, man.
Yeah.
This is just a fucking joke.
But the reason why I got that platinum is because I had so much goddamn fun playing the game. I sought out more things to do because I didn't want to stop playing.
But anyway, so that's that's 1,000 top rated, whatever the fuck it's called. Don't buy it.
Hello everyone, it's me, Oliver the Robot. Cast your mind back to the start of the podcast. Remember, Saul saying he was actually helping to fix a printer. It wasn't a cheap mum joke like we've all come to expect from Saul. Back to the present, it was at this point during the recording that Chud's mum, the delectable Mrs Hornby, entered the room. She had been on the phone to Virgin Media for 30 minutes and was, by now, mildly infuriated with the whole situation. It seems the problem was stemming from her printer's inability to register her home Wi-Fi network, thus, removing the convenience of wireless printing in her own home, a convenience Mrs Hornby was very much accustomed to. Saul spent in excess of another 30 minutes on the phone to Ian from Virgin, though his Indian accent suggested his birth name was not in fact Ian. Saul and Ian were unable to resolve the predicament, leaving Mrs Hornby unhappy with the services she had received. Did you need to know this? Not at all. Is it important to the podcast? Not at all. But know this. Chud's mum. Chud's mum. Chud's mum. We now return to our regular broadcast.
Last piece of news this week is about Grand Theft Auto 5. It's not been in the news for a little while, but Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar, the developers, have been in a bit of trouble this week. Or not so much trouble, but they've had a bit of a PR nightmare this week.
What happened?
It all stems from the fact that they sent a bunch of cease and desist letters to some very prominent modders in the Grand Theft Auto community, basically telling them to stop whatever that they were doing. Now, the modding community in Grand Theft Auto 5 is possibly one of the biggest modding communities. Like, it's on a scale of like Skyrim, Fallout, that level. Like, if not even a bit bigger. Yeah. People are really passionate about it, and there's a whole wealth of brilliant content that has gone into this game and has extended the life of Grand Theft Auto 5 significantly. So, I'm not quite sure what they were thinking when they did this. Well, I do have a theory, but I'll come on to that in a second. Very, very quickly they decided that this was a bad idea, and they rescinded these letters, and they kind of released a kind of half-assed apology, but they basically clarified their position, which is they will not allow people to create multiplayer mods. So any mods going forward must be single-player focused, and they must not be sold for non-commercial use, basically.
For cash dollar.
Exactly, yeah. Which is another kind of whole argument to be had, paid mods kind of thing. But for me, this strikes me as them trying to kind of rein in the cheaters, the people that are kind of creating mods for their own gain on the online system.
The hackers.
The hackers, yeah,
filthy
exactly.
little cheaters.
Exactly, yeah.
The dirty little rotten scoundrels.
It's rife in Grand Theft Auto. If you've ever jumped into Grand Theft Auto 5 online on the PC, it's a minefield of just dickheads,
So
basically.
it's rife with cheaters as a dog is with fleas.
Exactly, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the whole kind of idea behind them doing this. Can't really blame them. I've seen a lot of stuff in the news that people are really getting unhappy with the way that Grand Theft Auto has been administrated and managed, so I think this is them trying to quell that, but they didn't go about it in a particularly good way to start off with. But they seem to have come good, so well done. Well done. Anything to say?
Not really, no. I mean, I'm not a big PC gamer, so the modding community is something that's never affected me, but, well, if people aren't making profit off it, because, you shouldn't really profit off somebody else's work, that's a bit cheeky, but, I mean, if it's not interfering with cheating and things like this, it's just done just for fun, then modding's a great thing. It extends the life of your, gets people to continue to play your game, so...
Yeah.
Sounds good. I wish that there was just more mods on consoles, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that's a whole other argument is about, the legality of mods, and very recently, I say recently, about 6 months ago, do you remember Bethesda tried to roll out a paid mod system, which was met with...
Backlash was huge, and they had to rescind it.
Exactly,
yes,
yeah.
I remember. They tried it again, and they've rebranded it, haven't they?
Yeah, so there is now another paid mod system, I think, that they're trying out, that they announced at E3. We'll see what kind of form that takes and how much of that actually comes to consoles. We'll see. But a little bit of interesting news there.
Misinterpretation on a global scale. Cultural ignorance about English. English cultural ignorance. Na 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 football.
Welcome to English Cultural Ignorance, with me, Oliver the Robot. Today we are talking about names, more so, names that belong to people from countries that you wouldn't expect would have that name. Recently, I, Oliver, was used to tell the story of Chud's mum, and Ian from Virgin Media. Saul suggested that Ian might not have really been called Ian, as Ian had an Indian accent. But how can a man from India possibly be called Ian? As I'm intelligent, unlike Saul, I was able to do a quick Google search. Ian is an Indian boy's name. It means God is gracious. There you have it. Thank you for your time, and always remember, Chud's mum, Chud's mum, Chud's mum.
Interpretation on a global scale. Cultural ignorance about English. English cultural ignorance. Na 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 football. Question of the week.
On to question of the week. Now, post E3, my mind has been pretty much full with all the news, announcements, and glorious tidbits that came out of E3. So this week's question is actually based about an article that I read, which was on Kotaku, written by a guy called Lewis Packwood, I believe his name is. Mm-hmm. And the title of this article is "Why Does Everybody Hate Game?"
For those of you who don't know, Game is a retailer in the UK. A bit like our version of GameStop, really. They're the mainstream supplier of...
the main high street retailer of games. Now, okay, how do you feel about Game?
I like them.
Tell me, how often do you shop there?
Not a lot anymore, but when I used to buy things on disc, I used to go there because I liked the service there. I thought it was good. I thought the staff seemed knowledgeable and polite. I liked the way the store was run, unlike the CEX, where it's second hand, so you get things cheaper. But goddamn, the way that store is run is
like a jumble sale, isn't
it?
Yeah.
And so I'm not got a problem with Game. I understand that a lot of people seem to, though, for some reason. It is a bit pricey.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that the article talks about, is that generally you pay more in store at game. Even just comparing them to other high street retailers, generally they're a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And you know, there's been cases where they will sell pre-owned games for exactly the same price as a brand new game.
Yeah.
Which again is I mean, more fool you if you pay the same price for a pre-owned game than a new game. But you know, you got to feel a bit sorry for the 70-year-old lady who dawdles into the store wanting to buy a little nice game for young Harry.
She gets a little purse open and she's got picking out the coins.
Yeah, and so in that case, you know, she might be taken advantage of. But
take her in the back and give her one.
It's horrible.
I know, it's
horrible.
We don't
Edna.
condone granny rape on this podcast.
Should might, but I don't.
As you were saying.
Yeah, so I think the pricing is one of the reasons that people are a little bit kind of cautious about game. I've also experienced some pretty shoddy customer service from game employees.
What happened?
To be honest, it's quite surprising to hear you say that you thought that they were knowledgeable, because I thought the absolute opposite. Maybe that's just, you know, my interest.
Personal experiences, just different people.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I remember there was a stage where they were starting to kind of trial and sell a few retro kind of consoles. So there was I believe there was like a Super Nintendo in the cabinet, and I was looking for the AV leads for a Mega Drive. And I went in there and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" Having a bit of chat. I see you got a Super Nintendo in the cabinet. I'm looking to buy the AV leads for the Mega Drive, and the girl behind the counter goes, "Sorry, Mega what?" I was like, "Don't worry about it, love. Have a good day." And just walked out the store. And it was like, you know, that to me is like
a big faux pas if you're going to work in games retail.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was young, so she was obviously born after the Mega Drive was released. But if you're going to work in games retail and if you're going to market and sell retro products, then you should probably know what the Mega Drive is. But again, that's just like a personal thing that I've experienced. Probably not indicative of everybody's experiences, but that kind of put me off a little bit. I think that as a high street retailer, game is probably my least favourite one that I've had in the UK. I don't know if you remember Game Station.
Oh yeah, Game Station was great.
Yeah,
it was like the halfway mark between game and CX.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a lot more kind of like, almost had like a grassroots kind of like
mum and pop
grungy feel, like a little bit, you know, kind of more. I don't know, but game to me, it's very sterile. You know, it could be
very corporate.
Exactly. Yeah, you could swap the games on the shelves for shoes, and the shop wouldn't look that much different. You know what I mean? Which might be a reflection of the change in the industry. You know, that it has got more upmarket, more mass appeal. Mm-hmm. So they are trying to, bring in more people through the doors. But for me, the retail experience should always, first and foremost, be about customer service, because that's how you retain your customers. And for me, that disappeared from game. For the history of game is basically a whole series of takeovers from Electronics Boutique to when they then went and bought out Game Station, and reading a few kind of really interesting interviews from ex-employees, like managers, that kind of thing. They all talk about having great fun when it was a grassroots company, and then as soon as it started to expand and take over all these other businesses, it lost that personal feel, it lost its connection with the customers, and became much more about targeted sales, pre-ordering, selling merchandise, etc, etc, etc. So that's my feelings towards it. And I don't know, you kind of said that you feel a little bit differently.
Well, no, I kind of see what you're saying. I don't shop at game anymore because I purely like to buy things digitally. But yeah, I completely see what you're saying.
Yeah, and to be fair to them, I think that's probably one of the reasons why they've had this big push for sales, because everything now is going digital. Like, their sales must be falling off a cliff edge, so they've got to find other income streams and revenues, which comes in merchandise, all this kind of stuff. So can't blame them, but again, I think it's just another sign, really, for me, that the digital revolution is coming. It's not going to be stopped, and within 5-10 years, maybe, you're very unlikely to be able to buy high street games on the high street anymore.
And I, for one, would like to be the first to welcome our robot masters.
Welcome. Got some rare things on sale, stranger. What are you buying? Not enough cash, stranger.
So that brings us to another end of an incredible episode of the Safe
Oh
State
yeah,
Gaming
episode
Podcast.
13.
Smashing them out.
Smashing them out, cracking them off.
Puberty, teenager today.
Lubing it up and cracking it off.
Finally hit puberty.
Yep. How does it feel?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
But also I feel a little aggressive.
Yeah,
I feel like I want to rebel.
I want to rebel as well.
Fuck game.
Fuck 'em. Yeah. Fuck you, game, with your overpriced bullshit.
And fuck that stupid 1,000 whatever stupid platinum game that is.
Yeah,
What
fuck,
are we talking about?
just fuck it all, man.
So, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, this has been episode 13 of the Safe State Gaming Podcast. My name's Saul. Catch me on Twitter at mynameissaul.
My name's Richard. I've just realised I'm wearing my underpants on back to front. You can catch me...
Classic Chud.
Classic. Oh, Chud. You can follow us both on Twitter at Safe States Gaming Podcast. Other than that, I would like to leave you very much alone. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Do join us again next week.
Yep, hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Catch you same time.
Catch you on the flip side, man. Ooh.
Take it easy. Thank you very much.
Love you, bye.
Bye. Music for this week's episode was brought to you by Tom Hannay, Joakim Karud, Home, Cosimo Fogg. The version of Ave Maria that was used was composed by Franz Schubert and performed by Daniel Perret. Also thanks to Kubbi, Berrigan, Kevin MacLeod, G, Silent Partner, Bensound, TONEZPRO and Joey Pecoraro. And as always, you can find links to their work in the description below.